Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. And, of course, you can listen to it live on demand on the 1430 app, 1430ESPNFresno.com, or, of course, right here on 1430 proper as well. We are streaming live right here, right now on YouTube and on Facebook and on Twitch, so be sure to tune in there. If you want to watch the video version of the podcast, hello, how are we doing? Good to see you. Like and subscribe, all that fun stuff that we talk about there. ESPN Fresno is where you find us on our social media and airwaves as well. Big thanks to Tony D for tossing it to us in the previous hour. Tony D goes from 2 to 3. Sportsline Bulldog Hour with Tony D, of course. He'll be back Friday, but always good to hear Tony D's voice and perspective throughout the year. We are here, and we have some sponsors to get to, of course, as well. Lee's Air Hotline. Sponsors are phone line here, 559-320-1430 is the way to reach us. 559-320-1430 is the way to reach us. Lee's Air Plumbing, Heating, and Roofing with that sponsorship as well. They also sponsor the weather check, of course, as we sit here on the top of the show. 94 degrees is the temperature today. Could inch up to 96, and then we will be warming up as the days go by, up to 99 tomorrow, and then we will be in the triple digits, it looks like, for the weekend, topping out at what appears to be 103 on this Saturday. So hope everybody is ready to stay cool and do your best to weather that difficult weather. It is Fresno. It is the Central Valley. It is the summer. This is what you signed up for. So that's what you got. Anyways, we'll get through it, all of us together. Of course, we have Clovis Truck Center. Clovis Truck Center sponsoring this 3 p.m. hour. Clovis Truck Center, formerly known of Linex of Clovis. They are the first, the biggest, and still the best here in the Central Valley. And now they are bigger than the bedliner. Get your summer fix with Clovis Truck Center, getting ready for all those fun summer activities. It's not too late. They can get you in and out in a day on all those great things, whether towing, tinting, all of that great stuff. Plenty to offer there at their great showroom over at Clovis Truck Center. So be sure to stop by. They're located just south of the Clovis Rodeo Grounds in Old Town Clovis. We also have Fashion Furniture. Fashion Furniture, who has always been a great sponsor of our show. Fashion Furniture. Once again, another reminder, facing an emergency critical overstock situation. They're continuing to get rid of that $5 million worth of famous name brand furniture that they have to get off their books there. Fashion Furniture, locally owned, served Fresno and Central Valley over the last 65 years and plus. So they've been good to us, good to everybody here in the Central Valley. Remember, this is huge price cuts in every department. We're talking savings of up to 76%. Savings will be spectacular. Bring your trucks and trailers because, reminder, with the prices this low, you're going to have to pay for delivery. So why not take it yourself and enjoy some new selection that you got there. All right, so we are here. We are getting ready for our show, like I said, and a lot to talk about on the day today. We've got coming up in about 15 minutes or so, a good interview with Nathan Blasick, reliever for Fresno Grizzlies. Got a chance to interview some guys down at the ballpark today, and we will be hearing some of those interviews later on, but we'll start with Nathan Blasick of the Fresno Grizzlies. Good to have him. Good perspective, good interview with one of the top relievers coming out for the Fresno Grizzlies as well. We'll discuss, of course, all the things coming up in sports, talk about the NBA draft coming up. We've got an anniversary here at Fresno State Athletics. I think a lot of people are going to enjoy when we bring it up. Of course, as well, we'll dive into it. Some Giants baseball talk, tough baseball game last night for the San Francisco Giants. But we start the show in a very different and interesting spot here as of late because it is not what I planned to talk about after yesterday's show. But for some who are watching the video side of things and who will now hear him now, usually on Tuesdays we bring in my buddy Asa on the show. And well, we had quite the incident that happened yesterday. After the show is concerned, we'll give the people the details first. But Asa, how are we doing on this Wednesday?
Better than I was after the show yesterday.
Yes, we got producers in Tanvir's behind buttons as well. And we got Amara working on the video as well. So good to have you both. How are we doing on this Wednesday afternoon?
Doing good. After yesterday's show, I was elated with how great that last hour was.
Yes.
So if we're gonna pull a positive from yesterday, that was amazing.
Yes. How are we doing, Amara?
I'm doing great. You know, it's been a good day. We started the day off at Chancey. It's a bright and beautiful day.
Absolutely. But, you know, it wasn't bright and beautiful a little bit afterwards after the show. We were having the high. We were all high-fiving each other and all that stuff. Felt like great camaraderie after the show wrapped up on Tuesday. You could say the vibes were high Tuesday.
You know how, like, in a movie, like, something always really nice and wholesome happens, and then, like, they try and set that up, isn't this a nice moment? And then immediately, like, 2 minutes later, like, something bad, happens.
Yes.
That was yesterday.
Yes. So let's set it up for the people. Why are we talking about something that bad happened to Asa after the day yesterday? And quite simply, Asa, you want to describe what happened to your to what happened to you when you arrived at your house after the show yesterday?
My house almost caught on fire.
Yes.
And by almost caught on fire, I mean it did, and it didn't get worse because I caught it early enough, I guess. I leave from the show like a little bit after 6, like we all do, like the short little like goodbyes. I gotta go do stuff. Bye.
Yeah.
I pull up to my house, and so like back in my laundry, I'll set it up a little bit. Back in my laundry room, the fire alarm is always going off at a very, very small level, right? It's just there. It's very faint, on the edge of hearing, right? And so I pull up, and normally whenever I pull up, my dogs recognize that I'm home, and then like from my door closing, and they freak out because they're excited, right? Molly does her scream bark, which she never does. Molly lives in a perpetual state of nonplussed, like cannot be bothered.
Yeah.
Today she was very bothered. I'm like, that's weird. And then also I thought what I heard what I thought was the fire alarm, and I'm like, man, it's loud today. Is it though? And then I start pulling up, and Molly's like in the window, like freaking out, like the little side window by the door, and I'm like, that's weird. And she's doing like her scream bark. I'm like, all right, that's different. And then I open the door. Fire alarm is going nuts. Like I've never heard it before. Molly's freaking out. Molly hates the fire alarm. She just cannot stand it.
Nobody likes a fire alarm.
No one enjoys it, but Molly hates it more than most.
Yes.
Luna is just, Dad's home. Yay.
Other dog.
Yeah, other dog. Smoky is the best word that I can describe the inside of my house. I'm like, that's not good. And so my first thought was, oh no, I actually did it. I left the stove on. And so I went there, and like all the knobs were up. I was good. I was fine. But I was like, Molly's freaking out. The dogs are freaking out. The inside of my house is like super smoky. Something's obviously on fire. I look out of the corner of my eye. There's, because I'm like trying to like fling windows open and fling doors open. I catch out of the corner of my eye, like one of my sockets is like black and has like tar coming out of it.
I wonder if I could show a picture as you.
Because
I have a picture.
Pull it up.
Let me see if I can get that real quick.
And so I fling open the back door, and I notice it's significantly more smoky than it is inside. And I found out I have a planter. I have a planter outside with a bunch of like flowers and stuff in it, and it is half burnt to a crisp. And I will pull up a photo of that. And it's just gone. And I'm like, that's not good. So I
You want me to show the planner? I have the planner too.
Yeah, the planner. Yeah. Show off the planner.
We got the.
And so I'm like dousing that with a hose. I call Steph, and I'm like, I know you're in class. Call somebody. And then Phil, I would like to shout out Phil for being the good, as a nominee for the Good Friend Award, because he came over to my house and like calmed me down because I was about ready to have a panic attack.
Well, here's what I get the text from, because I literally just changed out of my work clothes. I was like ready to just. You
got home and like got in your comfies and was like, cool, I'm gonna chill.
I got in my comfies. I did. I got in my comfies. I got a t-shirt, some shorts. I was ready to chill and watch the Giants game last night. I opened a box of Cheez-Its. I had about 4 Cheez-Its in, and I get a text from Steph, 911, can you go to my house now? ? And I'm like, what? Okay.
That's probably not good.
Yeah. What's up? And then she said, fire in house, call Asa. I'm trying to get out of class. And I'm like, did you call the fire department? Like, what am I going to do? But from my perception, it was a lot bigger than I thought it was. But he said he's out. He said some fire's out, but he's freaking out. Please make sure my dogs are safe. And then she was on her way. So I get there, and it smelled. The smell distinct.
Oh, could you like smell it from down the road?
Burnt. No, when I got to your driveway, I could smell distinct burning, and I was like, okay, this is interesting.
Yeah.
A lot happened here, and you put it out. But when we were sitting there for a while, we were like, well, there's still smoke. Kind of, it was still warm.
That was still so weird. And I remember like I had the wherewithal in the moment to be like, because I saw when I was trying to fling the doors and stuff open, I saw that the outlet, like smoke was coming out of the outlet.
Yeah.
And at some point I had the wherewithal to be like, I should probably turn off the circuit breaker, which I just discovered where it was on my house.
Which is just
the
crazy.
day before yesterday.
Crazy.
Because something happened in the kitchen. I'm not like the air fryer went crazy.
Yeah.
But anyway, I was like, I should probably turn these off before I make everything worse. Because I probably have an electrical fire on my hands, and that's not good.
Well, yeah. And so we decided, well, let's stay out of the house here and just kind of like figure it out. But I kept thinking, I'm like, well, the fire doesn't seem to be out yet. And I'm like,
Yeah,
but
because stuff was still happening.
and so I was like, we should call this like non-emergency fire department thing, because right now the house is not burning down. Although technically later we did find out could have gotten worse.
Shout out to engine. I believe it was engine 17.
No, Station 17.
Station 17.
Yeah.
Fresno
I got
Fire
the
Department.
first names of the guys. Shout out to Ken, Dave, Chris, and Cameron, who were on the scene for us.
They get the Good Dude Award.
Yeah, and if they're listening, shout out to you guys. Appreciate you guys for what you did there.
Yeah.
They were quick to respond, helped assess the situation. Thankfully, it wasn't an electrical fire. It was not an electrical
It wasn't.
fire.
It almost was. One of the guys told me like, yeah, if you got home like 10, 15 minutes later, like half your house would be gone. And I'm like, cool.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
So we don't know conclusively what started the fire in your backyard, but according to some of the people
the best guesses.
this is the best guess we have, which is
it was Zeus.
Yes, it was Zeus. Zeus was
he-
listening. Yeah.
Oh no! Did I blaspheme?
We did call Zeus
What have I
overrated yesterday on the show. We did do that.
My hubris.
no.
Oh my god! It's all coming together.
You think it was a lightning strike?
Maybe.
But actually, for real. You can believe what you want.
Yeah, all right.
What our running theory is, which is it's not the official cause of the fire, but our running theory is that somebody shot off a firework nearby, and 1 in a million shot of a spark landing in the backyard, and it somehow lodging itself between the planter box and the house, and then it kind of going under the house, and the fire started burning. There's a little gap under your house in the backyard.
Yeah, I forgot weeping something. Weep
Whatever
trap?
it's called, it's right under, and it can kind of you can get some stuff under that, and a fire started kind of burning up through under that.
Yeah.
And it started burning up under through your wall and then into the wall.
Yeah, and then that's kind of set off the outlet, and then they actually like cut like a hole into the house.
Yeah.
And the fire was still going in the wall.
I wonder if I can I show a video here too? I got a video of them cutting it. I wonder if I can show this on the video as well. Do we have that, Aaron, pretty good on the live stream there? But yeah, that's them just kind of cutting into the wall. And they basically told you if you didn't call fire, you guys could have been dead in your sleep.
Yep.
Because the house would have burned down if it started moving up and up through the walls there.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, and that's nuts to me.
Yeah.
Like if nothing else had happened and I just went upstairs, like we would have been dead.
So
That's nuts.
there's an important point to this, and I know we're a sports show and everything like that, but I think it comes without any surprise here that it's just people think about shooting fireworks, right, and everything like that, and the harmlessness of it, and suddenly you could hit a situation like this. Luckily, you guys only are dealing with a hole in your wall in your house,
Yeah.
as opposed to the whole house coming down.
Yep.
But
I will take smoke smell over my whole house being
if there is no more evidence than a simple little firework possibly causing issues like this in the town of Fresno, then I don't know what is, because firework safety, folks, we're getting into the 4th of July, and I'm just telling you this right now. You don't think a firework will affect some people, but it's got to come down somewhere. That firework does, and people who safely run those fireworks know what they're doing. And yeah, I know I'm in Fresno. I am not going to stop the firework epidemic that is happening in this in this metro area. We know what Fresno is all about with that. But just be mindful. Just be mindful of what that is, because legit, and I don't want to be too crazy on this. I could have lost a couple friends yesterday.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That would've been bad.
If the situation wasn't the right way. And I'm glad you're here, bud. I'm glad.
I'm glad. Thanks for having me, and also thanks to the thing. I wanted to come. I got the day off of work today, and Phil was nice enough to be like,
Yeah.
Hey man, do you want to like thank the fire department because I think they'd like appreciate it. I'm like,
Yeah.
yes, they deserve it.
So I want a big shout out Fresno Fire for helping us out there, helping my friends out, helping that whole situation, because I think it's important to give that shout out to that right here at the top of the show. So just wanted to make a point of that. And when it comes personal like this, then you start kind of thinking about it a lot more as far as that's concerned. It's close to home when it happens to you.
Yeah, and then I mean the stuff that you always say like, oh yeah, that's never gonna happen to me, usually tends to happen.
Yeah. So we will not blaspheme against Zeus any longer. We now know what he's capable of.
I have some offerings to make.
we know what he's capable of, and that's what it is.
He is vengeful.
He is.
He made his wrath known.
Yeah, I need to be careful too. I still have not, got against that. All right. Anyways, cool. You want to hang out?
Yeah, I'd like to. That's cool with you.
Why not? If you want to hang out, we're hanging out till the start of the NBA draft, yeah, we're just getting the show started. So why don't we take a break? And when we come back, we'll have my interview with Nathan Blasek, Fresno Grizzlies, coming up next here on 1430 ESPN. Stay with us. We're just getting started here on 1430 ESPN.
Prices on steel and materials are going up, but at Pacific Steel Supply, they're still delivering the best deals in the industry. Whether it's residential, commercial, industrial, or ag projects, Pacific Steel Supply will match or beat any competitor's price by an extra 10% on top quality steel, metal roofing, and components. With 24/7 service, fast delivery, and the best prices, the time to act is now. Get your free quote today from Pacific Steel Supply in Fresno, Ashland, and Parkway off Highway 99 or online at pacificsteelsupply.com.
It was 106 degrees. The Johnsons were sweating, and their AC, dead silent. But 2 doors down, the Millers, cool and comfortable. Why? They called Lee's Air for a $99 AC maintenance before summer started. We catch problems before they catch you. Don't sweat the heat. Beat it. Lee's Air Plumbing and Heating. Fast, friendly, guaranteed. Call now or schedule at leesair.com.
What happens when your determination to advance your career meets online education? More than you ever thought possible. At Fresno Pacific University, we're committed to our mission. We're committed to you. That's why we're continually bringing new programs online. Complete your bachelor's or master's degree in a format that works for you. Discover what's possible at Fresno Pacific University. Learn more at online.fpu.edu.
Sports fans, whether you're gearing up for your next adventure or simply searching for the perfect ride, Ed Dina's Auto Center has you covered. Now, let's hear from the 2018 Mountain West champion, Marcus McMarion.
Hey, it's Marcus McMarion. At Ed Dina's Auto Center, they'll make car shopping as smooth as a game-winning play. Whether it's a truck, SUV, or the car of your dreams, their incredible team is here to guide you every step of the way. Ed Dina's Auto Center in Dinuba and now in Visalia off Mooney Boulevard. Online at eddinasautocenter.com.
Now is a great time to review your company's retirement plan. Do you understand the advisory fees you're paying and the services you should be receiving? Is your current advisor making your life easier by handling all of those time-consuming questions from your employees and phone calls to your plan provider? Is your current advisor solely focused on company-sponsored retirement plans and able to keep up to date with ever-changing regulations so you feel confident that your plan is in compliance? Do you feel great about the investment options in your plan? Are you receiving quarterly updates on their performance? Employers who work with 401k specialists can answer yes to all of those questions. 401k Specialists is the dedicated retirement plan team powered by Thiessen-Duker Modern Wealth Management. Visit thiessen-duker.com to learn more about how we work differently so you can answer yes to those questions. The advisors of Thiessen-Duker Modern Wealth Management are registered representatives with and securities offered through LPL Financial, member FINRA SIPC.
Hola, Carla speaking.
Carla's roofing company always goes above and beyond.
Yeah, we heard about next week's forecast.
She needs a new foreman to weather a storm of projects.
You mean another full crew before Wednesday? Mira, Jose, can you work Wednesday?
Indeed can help her hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Instant Match instantly connects you with quality candidates whose resumes on Indeed match your sponsored job description. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
Yeah, a little bit different. You've played everywhere. It seems like every corner of the country. It feels like you go around. You know, you're from Pennsylvania. You played in Louisiana at certain point too as well. You know, it travels with baseball, and sometimes baseball is a big world. Sometimes it's a small world. How funny is it sometimes when you see some guys or stuff like that from around the parts?
Yeah, so I feel like the further you go up in baseball, the smaller the world gets. And I've been fortunate to be able to travel and see a lot of this country through baseball. And that's one of the things I really like about baseball is being able to see new places and go new places. So it's definitely cool to see people that you grew up playing with, or at this point, pretty much everyone you play with have had a teammate that you've known in the past, and there's been some connections. So it's definitely a small world once you kind of get up here.
Is there a connection you have here or that you played against some guys you played against in this league so far this year? You're like, okay, I remember you, or tell me an example of that.
There's a Caden Hollow from Lake Elsinore. When I played summer ball with him, and he was one of my good buddies in summer ball up in the Northwoods League.
Okay.
So it's good to see him. And then last year here, Tevin Tucker was our shortstop here in Fresno, and I played baseball with him up in West Virginia for 2 years in college. So now I've had a few people here in this league, and then pretty much in every other minor league across the country. I've know a decent amount of people.
Absolutely. So, of course, I want to just talk about, where you come from the baseball side of things. You mentioned a lot of different places you played, right? But, tell me at a young age where it started for you, growing up in Pennsylvania, growing up in that era. There's a lot of good baseball up there, especially I'm sure you've been to Williamsport a time or two. Tell me a little bit about growing up in that area.
Yeah, so I grew up in a very small town, and kind of growing up, baseball was something that I loved to do and was pretty good at. But once I kind of started to play travel ball and get outside of my little area, I kind of saw like how good the baseball was in the area, and then that kind of made my love for the game grow.
Tell me, So you mentioned you watched some Williamsport time. When was the first memory of going to Williamsport Little League World Series and being around that?
Wasn't the first time I went up there, but Redland, there was a Pennsylvania team, had a team in the Little League World Series, and I grew up playing with a bunch of those kids, and it's kind of the same facility that I trained at. So it was a really big deal when they went to Williamsport and spent a lot of time up there when they were playing.
Yeah, absolutely, and I'm sure it was a thrill to see them on the TV and side of things and be around the atmosphere. But of course, you continue to grow as a ball player. You were a good hitter too, right? You had a shot at. I saw you got some ABs in college, so that tells me you're a two-way kind of guy. I wasn't sure exactly which way you would go, but tell me a little bit about the style of player you were.
Yeah. So as a hitter, I went to college as a hitter primarily. I threw hard in high school, but didn't have much pitchability, didn't throw many off-speed pitches, so went to college mainly as a hitter, and I swung hard in case I hit it. So I hit a lot of home runs, a lot of doubles, but struck out a bunch too, and kind of found my way back to the mound because of that.
Did it drive your high school coach look crazy the way you kind of were swinging?
So I didn't strike out much in high school, but once I got to college, once people could throw 3 breaking balls in a row, or they didn't have to give you a fastball over the middle, that's when hitting started to get a little bit more difficult.
Yeah, for sure. But I'm sure it was fun. So you mentioned so in high school, did you pitch a lot, or you still pitched a lot, or?
Yeah. So going back to the small school, I pitched pretty much once a week. Would throw 105 pitches until I was done, and then go play shortstop for the other games.
Yeah.
But no, growing up, hitting was my passion. That's what I wanted to do, and that's what I worked on. But have kind of come to see that I have a gift with pitching. And
so how did you find out you had that gift a little bit? You said you threw hard, you know, but like when. Because sometimes you go out there because you need to in a high school team, because that's just the way the roster's built. And then sometimes when you're like, okay, I'm actually going to work on it. Like, when did that start becoming something you're like, I'm going to think about a little bit more, or somebody pointed something out? It's like, well, we can craft something here with you.
So it was my junior year. I was really struggling. Junior year of college, I was really struggling in the box and wasn't playing much, and kind of had a conversation with my pitching coach at New Orleans and kind of said, hey, I used to throw, like in high school, threw pretty hard, like kind of, if you want to check out some video, see what happens. And he checked out some video and was like, yeah, I definitely think that there's some potential here, and very grateful for that. But then the fall of my senior year of college started to kind of pitch in games, and once I got back into like inter squads and real games, started to throw even harder, and then kind of realized that I had a chance to play beyond college when I was on the mound. So that's kind of when I decided to go all in on pitching.
Yeah, absolutely. And so, you know, what were you kind of throwing as far as the repertoire was for the beginning part? Was it just 90, I'm figuring it out?
90% fastballs.
Yeah,
95% fastballs.
So the position player style repertoire.
Throw the ball down the middle, let it work. And I still think there's something to be said for that. But no, the past year I've really worked on off speed and location and kind of fine tuning and learning some pitchability rather than just being able to throw it hard down the middle.
For sure. It's kind of interesting, right? Because the way you approach it at bat as a batter versus the way you approach it at bat as a player or as a pitcher, you know, sometimes that kind of dynamic helps you, because when you have to flip that mindset of like, how am I going to hit off this guy versus how I'm going to attack this guy? How did that help you transition that way?
First off, you realize that hitting is very hard. I think pitchers give hitters too much credit sometimes, and they try to place the ball and they try to make some very difficult pitches when they kind of forget that hitting is a very difficult thing to do. And kind of knowing what my mindset was in the box and what all the things I had to cover in the box, it kind of gives you a little bit more confidence on the pitching side, because you know you can throw your best pitch every time and the hitter has to react to what you do. So I think just the confidence of knowing like how difficult it is to hit, and then as well just like approaches, and I'm a little bit able to read swings, I think a little bit better, just because I've taken so many of swings myself.
Yeah, of course. And it's interesting to see that kind of approach in that way. And I always find it interesting to first of all, see kind of how it develops. Did you always kind of found yourself as a relief guy with the way it was kind of
Yes.
working in that way? And
with kind of like my style, the way I throw, and kind of like who I am, I think a reliever fits me best. I like the pressure situations. I like the kind of quick turnarounds and kind of being able to be out there. I think it would drive me a little nuts to throw once a week and just kind of sit there the rest of the week. So I like getting out there. I like touching the mound, and I like throwing every pitch as hard as I can, which doesn't necessarily equate too well to being a starter sometimes.
yeah.
So,
Keeps you engaged in the games, right?
sure.
Sometimes those starters, they're the jokesters sometimes around the ball club a little bit, right? And of course, so you get the opportunity to relieve, and you play for West Virginia, and you move on to New Orleans too. And tell me about that year or two in New Orleans and how it developed you even more into the pitcher you are that eventually did end up getting drafted.
yeah, so that when I was in New Orleans was kind of the first time that I decided like pitching's my main focus. This is what I'm going to do. This is what I'm going to work on, and kind of being pretty raw in terms of like ability. My pitching coach there at New Orleans did a very good job of being able to keep it simple and kind of getting me to attack hitters, but also cleaning up a few things mechanically that needed to happen. So, no, they definitely took me from a very raw pitcher to someone that a professional team was willing to take a chance on.
Were you even surprised at the traction you were getting on that?
Yes, it was about 2 weeks after my first time pitching that I had a scout come to watch me throw. So it was a pretty big roller coaster, and it was pretty quick turnaround. And
what was that like? How did you balance that? Because sometimes as a guy, you're like, oh my gosh, somebody's watching me, and I have this chance, this window for me to maybe even get a chance. But also, I know I got to perform still, and you got to get out of your head about that. How did you balance it?
I had that mindset a lot as a hitter. It was a lot of pressure on myself, always trying to perform, trying to be a perfectionist, and kind of holding myself to that standard of I'm going to be drafted, I'm going to be a great hitter, and that didn't work out so hot, and kind of made my peace with baseball and kind of realized that this is something I wanted to do, but at the same time I didn't necessarily need it. And as soon as I kind of gave myself that kind of freedom, and once I kind of got like that second chance on the pitching mound, I wasn't going to let myself get too caught up in all of that because I still didn't even really know what I was doing. So it was kind of a naive thing, but at the same time, I think it really helped me a lot.
Do you sometimes think some guys need that situation for them, like all the time? And
as I go even throughout baseball and see more players, there's a lot of times the people with that kind of mindset are a lot of times able to bounce back quicker and kind of have better careers.
Yeah, absolutely. Baseball's a funny thing in that way, and the way kind of things work out. You mentioned something earlier in the interview I wanted to point out. You mentioned you played in Northwoods League. I covered the Northwoods League back when I was in North Dakota. I don't know if you were on the eastern side of Northwoods.
I was on the good side. I was in Green Bay.
Okay.
I had a great setup there. We had a great field there and had a bunch of fans and had a great host family too. So I love Green Bay.
I covered out in Bismarck Larks. That's as far west as you could probably go as far as that's concerned. But you out there for the pitching side of things and developing?
So, I was there for 2 years. I went there after my freshman year of college. I was there as a first baseman. I played in Green Bay. And then this past summer, after I threw like 35 innings, wanted to get a little bit more experience in case I did get drafted, and wanted to try to get my name out there a little bit more.
Yeah.
So they actually invited me back after my senior year of college to pitch there.
Okay.
So it was really good to go back and kind of have a good relationship with a lot of people there.
There's a lot of good history with that league and the people associated with it. I feel like people underrate it a little bit as far as that's concerned.
I think that league is the best in terms of preparing you for minor league baseball. It's the most similar feel. Like minor league baseball feels a lot more like the Northwoods than it does a college season.
Yeah.
So I think it's a great league for anyone to play in, especially young guys that need experience.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the moment, of course, and it was last year, right? You get drafted 19th round, I believe. Tell me about the phone call. Who are you with? What was the day like?
So I was in Green Bay, still playing. I had that day off, like from the game, and I was with my girlfriend and her family, and it was a pretty quiet day all day. Didn't hear much throughout the whole day, and then it was the very end of the 18th round. Got a call from the scout in the Rockies and just pretty much asked if I would accept the signing bonus, and it was about a 5-second call, and I'm like, yep, 100%, yep, I'm down, and within 2 minutes was drafted. So it was a very quick thing where I didn't know if I was going to get a call. I didn't know what that situation was going to be like, and within 2 minutes went from hearing nothing to being drafted. So that was a pretty quick turnaround, pretty wild experience.
Hearing nothing to getting drafted to looking at Zillow or something like that. Right? Pretty 3 seconds, pretty quick. And they took you to Fresno right away, right?
Yeah, so we did like a little mini bridge camp for like 2 weeks where it was kind of like meet the organization. This is who we are. This is what we do. And then pitched for about a week in Arizona before they sent me out here, and was very grateful to be able to get the chance to come out here last year and see what it's like kind of before a full season, because I felt like I was able to prepare a little bit better over the off season and knew what the day-to-day like grind would look like out here.
Absolutely. Of course, getting settled in, you get the nerves out of the way, you get here. And I would say out of many A baseball teams, this is as good a setup you could probably
for
get.
sure.
Right? So
we haven't gone anywhere.
Yeah.
Anywhere in this league, at least, I don't think anywhere close to
exactly
what we have here. We're very fortunate here.
Yeah. So tell me about it. Just the professionalism of it, and having a ballpark like this. How does that help you develop as a player? I hear it all the time that sometimes the environment can help you feel better.
Yeah, definitely. I think this definitely feels like a professional ballpark. It doesn't necessarily feel like a little college summer ballpark, and the facilities here are nice too. We have plenty of room in the locker room. We have a nice weight room, a good training room, and I think that's what really helps in terms of development, is to kind of have the resources you need to kind of do what you need to do.
Of course, the players that you have and the coaches that you're with. So I'm sure you. And the funny thing about baseball, of course, is you have teammates, and then suddenly teammates are moving along and doing all kinds of things. You never know when it's all going to happen. But how is especially the bullpen crew? Describe me the crew here that we have so far this year.
The bullpen has been very close. I mean, we obviously spend a lot of time together, and I think we all have a pretty, like, we all value our relationships with one another and the ability to talk with one another and kind of bounce ideas, whether that's how we're feeling, pitches, attack plans, any way to kind of get hitters out. And I think we've been very good this year in terms of sharing things and communicating and having a really good culture in our bullpen.
Does it create a friendly competition amongst you all?
It does. It does. We had a little competition earlier in the year about walks and not walking people, and the person who would go the longest without walking someone would get a reward. And then we also a few players have been having some competitions with velo and who can hit what mile an hour quicker. But I think, especially as like the bullpen's doing well, those competitions start to pick up a little bit more.
Do we mind if I ask what the reward is? What are we winning here? What's at the stake?
I think one of them was a Mountain Dew for whoever hit 99 first between two of our players.
Okay.
We had a little walk pot that we bought into, but we're planning like a little party at the end of the year, I think, with a lot of the stuff that we've been kind of collecting throughout the year.
That's the thing, right? Just the camaraderie and everything like that. The other thing I want to talk about, of course, is the long season. You guys just wrapped up first half. You're off to a good start here in the second half, obviously, and that's the name of the game. You don't feel out of it in terms of the standings. How does that competitive fire help you guys as well perform and develop, knowing that you're not out of it even after the first half?
No, I think the second half definitely provides another like spark of energy. It's definitely tough to show up to the ballpark every day when you're back 20 games when you kind of get that refresh, you kind of realize you're on the same level as everyone else and you kind of got another opportunity. And our bats have been starting to come around a little bit now too. And I think if we kind of continue to hit the way we've been the past few days and we keep pitching like we have all year, I think we'll have a pretty good team and a pretty good second half of the year.
Absolutely. Just one last question, and then I'll let you get going. What so far has been the most rewarding part about this whole process, being with the Grizzlies, being here in the Central Valley? What has been the most rewarding part for you?
I think being able to show up to the ballpark every day and being able to kind of go through your routine and try to put your best performance out there every night. Like, I like playing. I love the games every night and just the atmosphere. And then especially throwing late into games, like, I think there's a lot of adrenaline, a lot of energy in the ballpark when I throw, and I love that.
Yeah. family come out recently, or have
Yep, they're planning on coming out over the 4th.
Oh,
So,
4th of July weekend.
Yep.
There you go.
Good to see them.
Should be a jam-packed stadium. Should be a lot of fun, and we'll have that on the 1430 side. So, Nathan, I appreciate you taking the time as always, and best of luck on the rest of the season, and best of luck on the rest of the career.
Thank you very much.
All right, we'll take a quick break. We'll be right back with more 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
ESPN Fresno is now live on all your favorite social media platforms. Check out our Facebook, X, and Instagram, to name a few, for a live look at Behind the Bench in studio. 3 to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. Listen and watch Behind the Bench on our socials.
Whoever it was that said rainy days are followed by rainbows and pots of gold definitely wasn't in the raisin business. Rain in the wrong place at the wrong time can be a disaster, a crop disaster, and a financial disaster. In short, it can mean there's no payday for all of your labor. Fortunately, it doesn't have to be that way. The solution? Crop insurance for raisins. Bowman & Associates, your local crop insurance specialist, has been writing raisin crop insurance for over 40 years. Bowman & Associates is one of the largest crop insurance agencies in the state and the nation. Call Roger, Kent, or Quinn Bowman today and let them design a policy customized to suit your individual growing needs. Time is running out to purchase raisin insurance. With the unstable weather patterns and the current low premium rates, now is the time to call Bowman & Associates at 499-2020. That's 499-2020.
Bowman & Associates, the crop insurance specialist.
License number OF64178.
Warmer days and special occasions are on the way. Is your wardrobe ready? Jones Cleaning Center has you covered. Fast, reliable, and hassle-free. Use Fresno's only 24-hour self-service pickup and drop-off drive-thru. Drop off by 9 a.m. and enjoy same-day service at no extra cost. From suits to sundresses and comforters to table linens, they'll get it all fresh and ready. Jones Cleaning Center, Fresno's top dry cleaning and laundry service for over 55 years. On Palm, just north of Herndon in Fresno, or online at jonescleaning.com.
At Citizens Business Bank, we've been taking a personal approach to banking for over 40 years and are consistently recognized as one of the top performing banks in the nation. Hi, I'm Susan Woosner, Senior Vice President and Manager of Citizens Business Bank in Fresno. We believe in the importance of building long-lasting and genuine relationships with our customers. We want to provide you with the solutions you need to grow your business because your success is our success. Citizens Business Bank, member FDIC.
Need cash? If you've got a car, we've got the cash. Clausen Honda wants to buy your car. If it's running, we want your late model Toyota, Hyundai, Kia, Subaru, Acura, or Honda. Just call Clausen and ask for our VUP to schedule your appraisal appointment. In just 10 minutes, you'll get your cash value quote. Yes, we are eliminating the hassle of getting rid of your used old car. So if you're ready to sell, we are ready to buy. Call Clausen Honda of Fresno today. If you've got a car, we've got the cash. Get cash for your car. Clausen Honda.
Going, almost gone. The giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture in Fresno is almost over. It's the final days. Be near the doors when they swing open Thursday, 10 a.m. sharp. The final days of the giant $5 million furniture disposal sale at Fashion Furniture Fresno. Don't dare miss it.
Are you tired of waiting forever for your prescriptions? Grizzly Pharmacy is here to tame your healthcare needs. We fill most prescriptions in 15 minutes or less. We're always accepting new patients and enjoy free delivery to your home or workplace in Fresno or Clovis. Our expert pharmacists provide personalized consultations, therapy management, and COVID-19 testing. We accept all major insurances including Medi-Cal, Blue Cross, and Optum Rx. Visit grizzlypharmacy.com/Fresno.
It's crunch time, and KFC's got the winning play. Right now, grab a 10-piece bucket of the Colonel's hot, crispy fried chicken, thighs, and drumsticks for just $15.99. And if you're planning on feeding the whole team, make it a meal with sides and biscuits for just $10 more. That's big-time flavor without blowing the budget. So, whether you're watching the big game or feeding your starting lineup, this bucket brings home the W. No errors, no drops, just finger-looking good chicken from KFC, where every bite is a game changer.
ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. Big thanks to Nathan Blasek for joining us in the previous segment. Great interview with him, and wish him well on his his professional journey, and good to get insight on what is on the mind of a low A California League baseball player who is just trying to make the dream happen. So there you go, Nathan Blasek, Fresno Grizzlies. You can listen to Grizzlies baseball coming up tomorrow on 790. Grizzlies and Ports starting at 6:35 pregame, 6:50 first pitch with Tim Slack on the call. Saturday they'll be back as well over on 1430, 6:35 pregame with a 6:50 first pitch. And then on Sunday as well for the end of the homestand, 4:50 pregame with a 5:05 first pitch over on 790. That's on Sunday for the show there. All right. We got Asa still here, hanging around. How are we doing?
Good, man. How are you?
Good. We're running around. We're running around here on this Friday afternoon, or not Friday. I wish it was Friday. Wednesday. Let's go to a Copa Oro update from Tanvir here because we had some results last night, and now we have a bracket for Copa Oro.
Yeah, so last night's game was the completion of the group stage. We had Canada beat El Salvador 2-0 in a weird game. You had 2 red cards in the first half for El Salvador, and that was very interesting. Santos Ortiz and Jairo Enriquez, both. It's the first time a team was down to 9 men this early in Gold Cup history. So
really?
Key goals by Jonathan David, Tejon Buchanan, both of the guys that are the best 2 players on this roster right now. So I was looking for something big from them to end this group stage, and that's exactly what they did. So they get the top spot in Group B, as they should. And, they will move on to play Guatemala. Speaking of Guatemala, they needed a win and a Jamaica loss, and that's exactly what they got. They had a 3-2 win over Guadalupe. Jose Pinto scored in the 11th minute with a penalty. Guadalupe did fight back, and I think this was the most entertaining game of the day yesterday. But Rubio Rubin was able to restore the lead, and Guatemala is going through to the quarterfinals of the Gold Cup.
Yeah, it's going to be setting up to be an interesting one. You mentioned yesterday that we were not going to have the team that's going to win this thing playing yesterday, so it's going to be interesting to see where the bracket shakes up from here. But now that the bracket is shaped up, is it what you thought? Is there a surprise? Where are you at with the results of this Gold Cup?
Yeah, so also Panama beat Jamaica 4-1 and Honduras beat Curacao 2-1. So our bracket is now set. We have the USA is going to play Costa Rica, and Mexico is going to play Saudi Arabia. Canada is going to play Guatemala, and Panama will play Honduras. The performances of the teams that played yesterday, Panama to me has been the most impressive team at this tournament. They've been really good over the last 2 years under Christensen, who is their head coach, who I think is probably the best head coach in terms of what he's accomplished over the last 2 years in North America. So, he's been playing very good. But I still don't believe that a USA or Mexico is not going to win. I'm still going to put my eggs in that basket. So that's where I'm at with these quarterfinals.
Do you want to take a guess from long shot odds to best odds that ESPN Bet has as far as the winner of the Gold Cup overall? Do you want to take a shot at seeing if you can get 1 through 8 here, starting with the team with the longest shot odds here?
The longest shot odds?
Yeah.
Let's go. So the longest shot odds, I'm going to say Honduras.
It's actually Guatemala is at a plus 5,000 to win the Gold Cup. So Guatemala's there at plus 5,000. Final 8 plus 5,000. Pretty crazy. Then you said Honduras?
Yeah.
They're number 7.
Okay.
They're at plus 2,500 there. Where do you go next?
Before we get to that, I totally think that's flipped. Like, Guatemala to me has been very impressive in this tournament comparatively. I understand matchup-wise Honduras may not – I mean, I guess it's an easier matchup for Honduras with Panama than Guatemala with Canada. But, yeah, I think that's wrong. 6th, so it's either going to be Saudi and Costa Rica are going to be 5-6. I'm going to say Costa Rica is going to be 5 and Saudi Arabia is 6.
Costa Rica is 6 at plus 16. Saudi has plus 1,400 to win the Gold Cup.
Okay, so I got them in the right spot. They're just flipped.
Yeah.
Okay, then 1 through 4, I think 4 is probably Panama.
You would have that. It's plus 800
Okay.
to for you to bet to win for Panama.
3, I think 1 is Mexico.
Okay. 1 is Mexico.
Okay.
They're plus 150.
Yeah, so
to
then
win the
I'm
whole
going to
thing.
probably say they're going to say that USA being the hometown team is probably 2, and then Canada is 3.
Yeah, USA plus 200 to win the Gold Cup. They're 2, and then Canada's plus 450. Is Canada a good bet at plus 450?
I think it's a good bet.
Yeah.
I think that Canada's roster has 2 of the best players in this tournament. Yeah, they weren't as impressive in their group stage as Mexico and the United States were, but I'm still high on this team. Yes, they have not won a Gold Cup or a continental tournament since the year 2000, but I still think their depth is something that needs to improve for this tournament, but I honestly think they have the best roster. I think they have a better roster, I should say, than the United States. At this particular tournament, not overall, because the United States is missing a lot of their best players. But yeah, I think that's a good bet. I think that you're banking on Jesse Marsh being back and this team kind of being reinvigorated against some opponents that they have played against in the last couple of years.
Top goal scorer, there's a heavy favorite in Ismail Diaz, who's minus 250. The next closest is Malik Tillman at plus 850. So it seems like Ismail Diaz has it pretty wrapped as a top goal scorer for this tournament.
Yeah, he scored another hat trick against Jamaica yesterday, and I believe he's had multiple goals in each game. Malik Tillman also playing very well. I think that he has an outside chance, but I wouldn't even bet that. I think Ismail Diaz is going to win the Golden Boot regardless of what the United States does in the rest of this tournament as it relates to Malik Tillman.
There's the Gold Cup update. We will probably have another one next week. I think that's the next time we'll get it, right? Because we'll see the quarterfinals play out all weekend this next time. So we'll take a little break from the Gold Cup update. Asa, you Portugal fan. You got like 30 seconds on Portugal beating Spain? Anything you want to say about them winning that whatever tournament it was in Europe?
The UEFA Nations League.
Was it the Nations League?
Nations League. Yeah.
I forgot that was happening, and then me and Steph were at someone's like birthday party, and they had it on.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh hey, Portugal's playing. The final for what? Oh my God, we're going to PKs. What is happening? Like, it was just such like an escalation of like interest, because I'm like, when did this start? I've been such a bad like football fan.
No, it's fine.
Like recently,
but you turn it on suddenly when you're like, oh, we're gonna beat Spain. Okay,
yeah,
I'm in.
Like I literally watched all the PKs. I'm like, that's like my favorite part of football.
Yeah,
and so I was just so hyped.
So I'm proud. I'm happy for you. Even though some people say that's a sham tournament.
I don't disagree.
Kind of a money grab tournament, anyways. From what I've heard.
Yeah, I mean, it's to improve the lower level teams in Europe to get actual matches. It's supposed to replace friendlies, and higher level teams are gonna
and give it like stakes,
right? But you know, the Euros are obviously done.
Anyways, good to get the soccer in. We will take a break, and when we come back, we got 30 minutes left of the show here. Take you to the NBA draft coming up next on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader.
I make sure that we have plenty of parts for the service department and the customers in the front counter.
That's Al Carmona, parts manager at Pioneer Equipment Company.
A lot of farmers come in, they know what they want, and if they don't, we try to help as best as we can.
Pioneer carries a wide selection of Kubota, Land Pride, and Nelson parts. Stop by and see us in Fresno or Reedley. We'll get you a cup of coffee and the parts you need.
We have really good customers. Pioneer Equipment's a great place.
Visit pioneerequipmentca.com.
They say when you do one thing long enough, you get to be pretty good at it. Locally owned businesses led by multiple generations of family learn early on about the value of customer service. Of course, having great products, especially in the world of technology, is a clear advantage, but nothing is more important than making customers your number one priority. My suggestion for the right company for digital office technologies and services is CBM, California Business Machines. With offices in Fresno and Visalia, this top-tier Kyocera dealer has led the category, not only in technology, but with customer service. When you partner with CBM, you're aligning your business with a premier, nationally recognized company. Since 1953, CBM has been helping Valley businesses manage, change, streamline, and control their expenses. In fact, California Business Machines pioneered the 3-cent color copy, and I'm sure they'd love to tell you more. Call 225-5570 or check them out online at cbmsolution.com.
Hi, I'm Nick Anderson. And I'm Jim Schaefer with Helena Agri-Enterprises. Nick, how important is irrigation management?
Well, Jim, irrigation management is extremely important. When we water our crops, more often than not, we're also fertilizing them. So irrigation uniformity and efficiency are crucial.
Nick, that has to be a challenge considering the different soil types and how they impact water movement.
That's right, Jim. That's why at Helena we recommend using our newest water use management tool, ResGenix. ResGenix is easy to use and designed to increase water infiltration on heavy soils, reduce soil crusting, and increase the holding capacity of sandy soils. Jim, tell the nice people how it works.
ResGenix enhances soil structure by coating the soil particles. Simply put, ResGenix increases pore space in heavy soils and improves aggregation in sandy soils.
At Helena, we lead with agronomy, and water management impacts our crop health and quality. You can visit helenaagri.com to find your local Helena retailer and learn more about Helena products.
Hey Fresno, Chris Swart out here, operating partner Jack's Car Wash Companies, located on the southwest corner of Cedar and Shepherd. Don't miss out on this winning combo.
That's right, Jack's Car Wash has a brand new Pepsi and Coke soda fountain, plus a new Keurig coffee station featuring your favorite national brands. Plus, Jack's full detailing is backed by popular demand. Schedule yours today by calling 435-7335.
Jack's Car Wash and ESPN Fresno, the double play of a great car wash and a great broadcast. Let's go Giants!
It's the 4th of July, and the only thing you'll be lighting other than fireworks is the grill. And the Butcher Boss will make you the boss of your grill, starting out with the classic Santa Maria seasoned tri-tip to bring the boom with the ultimate meat flavor. Light the fuse to those sizzling burgers, ground fresh every day. Keep room on that grill for the 4th of July in-house made sausages that they grind every morning. So keep that fire cracking this 4th of July with the Butcher Boss. Highway 41 just south of Riverstone.
Mike Dermanuel Jr. of Hub International Insurance Group.
That's the kind of relationship we have with our clients. They want to know what's going to happen if they make certain business moves, and we're right there to give them our thoughts and our ideas and our advice.
Hub International. Learn more at hubinternational.com, license number 0757776.
If our clients succeed, we succeed. And I think that's what we work on every day.
You're listening to the home of the San Francisco Giants, KFIG Fresno, 1430 ESPN.
We're a half an hour away from ESPN Radio's coverage of the NBA Draft. Duke's Cooper Flagg expected to be selected first by Dallas. Freddie Coleman, host of Freddie and Harry on ESPN Radio, is big on Flagg to the Mavericks.
This could be the best situation for a number one draft pick to ever step in the NBA. Not saying Dallas will be a championship team immediately, but if everybody's healthy and everybody is right, Cooper Flagg does not have to worry about having that kind of pressure to lead the way. In 2 years, this will be his team.
Draft coverage also tonight on ESPN and ABC beginning in an hour. Utah Jazz big man John Collins has exercised his $26.5 million player option for the 25-26 season, and according to ESPN's Shams Charania, the 27-year-old Collins averaged a near career-high 19 points a game, 8 rebounds for the Jazz. An ankle injury kept him out for the final 2 months of the season. Cutter Crawford had an off-field accident that requires season-ending surgery on his right throwing wrist. Boston Red Sox manager Alex Cora made that announcement today. Said the 29-year-old Crawford was not doing anything, quote, irresponsible when he was injured. Rough day today for Pittsburgh ace Paul Skeens.
1-2 pitch is a line drive into left. It's a base hit. Haas trots home. It's 4-0 Milwaukee. Make it a 9-game hitting streak for Yelich. He drives in his 57th of the year. And the Brewers all over Paul Skeens here in this second inning.
Brewers go on to beat the Pirates 4-2.
Hey, it's your resident Super Bowl champ, Chris Candy. Coming up Thursday, I'll give you my biggest takeaways from the first round of the NBA draft and tell you what you should expect in round 2. It's Unsportsmanlike, 6 a.m. Eastern, right here on ESPN Radio, ESPN2, and ESPNU.
Talk about how right I am once again. in anything that it comes to sports.
He's got the questions.
I'm going to lose it. Are you kidding me? What are we doing here?
He's got the guests.
20th head coach in Fresno State history here, Matt. Is it hard to believe sometimes still the 20th head coach here in program history?
It's all moved really quickly here over the course of the last 5-6 weeks, but super excited to be here.
Phil Benotti is the voice for the Central Valley sports leader. Behind the Bench starts now. Brought to you by Helena Agri.
That's right. Another half hour of our show as we take you all the way up to 4:30 NBA Draft Night, Day 1. I remember the days when it used to be one night, a whole night of NBA Draft. I think they changed it a few years ago, but now just round 1 tonight, and we'll go over some of that towards the tail end of the middle hour here. But just wanted to bring up a few more things here on the show before we sign off for the day. So it's going to be interesting to watch what's going on, of course, with the Giants. The Giants are coming up as well. They're going to be following that NBA draft coverage. We're joining in progress with the Giants and Marlins later on tonight. Giants, man, just a tough break losing that one. Offense is again sputtering, and I just don't know if Rafi Devers batting second is the right move out of Bob Melvin there, but we'll dissect some of it here, all that kind of stuff. Ace is here with us as well for another 30 minutes, and enjoying herself. PSA, don't burn fireworks. Don't shoot fireworks.
Don't shoot off fireworks. Wait until the 4th of July. And nothing that shoots up in the air. Come on, be cool.
Be cool. Don't shoot fireworks. That's our PSA. If you missed what we talked about earlier in our first hour, you can listen to it on demand as soon as the show wraps up here on 1430 ESPN. I wanted to acknowledge one big thing from today, which is it is the 17-year anniversary of this.
Here is Olsen. He has been dominated by lefties for most of the night, now facing a right-hander in this situation. Line to right. Detweiler's got it. Cinderella wins a national championship.
Yes. A lot of us who grew up watching Fresno State or being around the Central Valley remember that day. Fresno State winning its national championship in baseball in 2008. That was 17 years ago on the day. The greatest run in college baseball history, the biggest underdog in college baseball history, undisputed, I would say, among anybody out there. And if anybody has anything to say about it, that's talk to me, because no greater Cinderella run than that in college sports, in my opinion, than Fresno State doing that in the College World Series. Asa, you've lived in the Valley for quite some time. Even for you who hadn't watched probably college baseball that often, you knew about 17 years ago how big a deal 08 Fresno State was.
It was so crazy because, like, everyone's been talking about it. I'm like, man, was it that long ago? And, like, I don't remember where I was when I heard it, but I was like, 17 years ago, what was that? Like 2008? Yeah. So I was in high school, and someone told me, like, yeah, Fresno State, like, won, like, the national championship. And I'm like, what?
Yeah, the national
one. Here?
Yeah. Us.
Like the right up the 99 and the 41. Like that school, like they won the whole thing. No. As
you were preparing to go to Reedley at some point,
I probably was. Yeah. Yeah. I honestly, I think someone told me on the bus, and I think we were going somewhere, and I'm like, that's not right.
So
that's crazy.
Crazy stuff.
That's crazy talk.
Great team. Tanvir, do you remember 2008 Fresno State College World Champions? Do you remember that time a little early, or are we getting close?
So if you combine both of our ages from how old we were
I
during
am
that
not going
happened,
to like what he's about to say.
We were 10 combined. So
I was 3.
We're putting you on mute. All right, we're shutting off your microphone. You have nothing to input on this. I'm turning you guys off for the rest of the segment. You're done. Sorry, we're done. We're gonna let the olds talk here for a little bit and let you guys cook. Sorry, no, you can't come in here and touch this button. I know you're talking right now. I see you talking. I see mouths moving. But you're done until the next break. All right. Anyways, I want to go over some names on this roster because there's some
youth is wasted on the young.
There is so much going on with this roster too. You can name every name and be like, wow, I remember that guy. Tanner Shepers is a name I remember. Future Texas Ranger Tanner Shepers. Danny Muno. obviously a big name. Justin Wilson, current Red Sox, who's pitching from the left side, who is a reliever for the Red Sox. Ryan Overland, there. Ever heard of him? He's the coach now for Fresno State.
Yeah, that sounds familiar.
Tommy Mendonca, another great player out of Turlock, and he had the iconic look to him as far as that's concerned. Justin Miller, another good player as well. Plenty of different names and to be involved in that. But you think of the journey they had to get through it, to get to this opportunity. They had to win the WAC tournament. They had to win 4 straight to get there. And then you go through the Long Beach Regional where they win the first couple games, face elimination because they lose to San Diego, and goes to a game 3. They lost that game 15-1, and then they faced a regional championship against San Diego. After losing 15-1, they bounce back to win 5-1. Then they go play Arizona State in Arizona. Lost the first game of that in a best of 3, 12-4. Felt like it was pretty much over for the Fresno State there. 2 elimination games back-to-back. They went 8-6 and 12-9 to get to the College World Series. As, by the way, a 4 seed out of the regional. Asa, some people equate it to a 16 seed winning the NCAA basketball tournament. That's where we equate it to.
That's
for
crazy.
The Fresno State
That's going up against a school like Georgia.
Yeah. Well, here's the path. They had to beat Rice. They beat Rice 17-5. Then they faced North Carolina. They beat North Carolina, so they were not in the double elimination side. They then lose to North Carolina again after a 4-day layoff. Then they faced North Carolina one more time because it was a best, double elimination side of things. So that was the elimination game. Bulldogs bounce back, win 6-1. They go to the national championship series against Georgia. They then again lose the first one, 7-6. So they face elimination in game 2 and 3. They win 19-10. They win 6-1. I do believe, and I don't know if I have this fully on my radar here, and I wish I had producers to talk to that could tell me this, but unfortunately they're banned for the rest of the segment.
Oh man, they got shadow realmed.
Is this the most elimination games a team faced to win a national championship? I wonder if that's the case, but because by my count, they faced 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 elimination games from the regional on. It is the long. There's a lot to be said about the Bulldogs and the never say die aspect of that season. 47-31 total record overall, 21-11 out of the WAC. Coach Batesall getting it done for this Bulldog squad. A lot of people with a lot of memories about this Bulldog squad. I remember watching from home, and even though I wasn't a Fresno State Bulldog just quite yet, my mother graduated from Fresno State, so we always followed the athletics, and I remember watching this as a kid at home, and really, really just a great memory overall, and kind of solidified why I want to go that as well. I'm getting a thumbs up saying that stat is correct, so I believe it is correct.
Hey.
6 elimination games faced, and I think they're the only national champion to face that many elimination games and win it all. Nobody else can claim that. Not even your Chanticleers of Coastal Carolina,
who did not lose a game for like 2
a while,
months.
And then they got shot around.
Yeah, they really did
in the last 2 days. All right, so just want to acknowledge that. Why don't we play it one more time, that call? Because everybody, by the way, the late Mike Patrick on the call as well. He passed away earlier this year. And so when I thought about him passing, this was the call I always thought of when his association with the Central Valley. So we'll play it out. We'll play out this, and then we'll go to commercial and wrap up the show here next. So here's the winning call for Fresno State.
Here is Olsen. He has been dominated by lefties for most of the night. Now facing a right-hander in this situation. Line to right. Detweiler's got it. Cinderella wins a national championship.
When it comes to solar, there's no such thing as the average Fresno home. Every home, every roof, every project requires the kind of experience and knowledge you get when you call Donald P. Dick. Call today and ask about the 30% tax credits and flexible financing options from the 12-time People's Choice Award winner, Donald P. Dick Air Conditioning and Solar. Call 559-255-1644 and let Mr. Cool help you drive down the cost of energy.
Take me out to the ball game. Baseball is back, and it doesn't get any better than the Fieldhouse Sports Bar and Grill, indoors or on the patio. Root for your team while enjoying their famous burgers, dogs, and fries. And did you know they have the coldest beer in town? No, seriously. With 16 draft beers on tap, served in an ice-cold pint, it'll sure get you cool for the summer. The Fieldhouse Sports Bar and Grill. Food, sports, fun. On Copper Avenue at the entrance to the beautiful Copper River Ranch.
Fresno's flooded with junk removal companies. Most are slow, sloppy, or overpriced. Here's the difference. Everyday Junk Removal shows up, hauls fast, and gets out. Furniture, gone. Mattresses, gone. Construction debris, yep, gone. Dumpster rental, handled. Rated 5 stars on Google because they don't screw around. Right now, get $20 off a half load or more. Get your quote at everydayjunkremoval.com or give them a call at 408-9132. Everyday Junk Removal. Get through the clutter.
From the roar of the Bulldog Stadium to the crack of the bat at Biden Field, Fresno State pride runs deep. And so does Precision Civil Engineering's commitment to the Central Valley. Voted 2024's best engineering firm by the Business Journal, Precision Civil Engineering brings your project to life with expert planning, surveying, engineering, and more. Proud supporters of Fresno State Athletics. Go Diamond Dogs. Go Dogs. Visit precisioneng.net today.
Introducing The Sidebar, a brand new open-air beer garden at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill in River Park. Experience a new way to catch a game, hang with friends, and enjoy new appetizers, char-grilled burgers, salads, wings with over 10 house-made sauces, and of course, world-famous Me and Ed's Pizza. Thirsty? Try our self-poured taps with over a dozen craft beers, wines, ciders, and craft seltzers. Plus a full bar with an impressive selection of tequilas, whiskeys, and craft cocktails. The Sidebar at Me and Ed's Coney Island Grill, now open in River Park.
Is a cracked screen or dying battery putting the brakes on your day? Swing by Self-Fix for lightning-fast phone repairs. Our expert techs are wizards with all major brands, guaranteeing your device is back in action before you know it. Plus, every fix comes with our rock-solid warranty. Drop by 6751 North Blackstone or dial 559-765-8044 to lock in your spot. Self-Fix, your ultimate ally in phone rescue. Stay plugged in, only with Self-Fix.
Most people in radio commercials talk really fast. But we made this one for RV owners. Progressive knows they like the slower pace of RV life, like this commercial. And they know Progressive will protect their RV at a fair price with discounts. Now here comes the fast part. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Discounts not available in all states or situations.
'Twas the holiday season at Total Wine & More. So many friends that you need to shop for. Gifts on their shelves are so easy to find. Just what you love for your loved ones in mind. Your father likes bourbon, Cabernet for your sis. Champagne for a co-worker, never a miss. All perfectly priced, as low as can be. Shop Total Wine for them and for me. Love what you find. Always lowest prices at Total Wine & More. Delivery available. Drink responsibly. B21.
To Behind the Bench here on 1430 ESPN Fresno, the Valley's local sports leader. We are heading to the end of our show as we will send it out to, they do it in New York, right? The draft? New York? Is that where we're heading? Yeah? Brooklyn?
Yeah, let me double check that. I don't know if they changed the location.
It's not like the NFL where it's like a location thing for the draft. I believe it's New York every year. So that's where we're at. But
yep, you're right, Barclays Center.
by the way, congrats to McKay Madsen, California boys track and field player of the year, Gatorade player of the year in California. So congrats to McKay. He was our student athlete of the year earlier this year. So just more awards for the Clovis North great. And now he's heading out to BYU soon. I know he's going to do a little mission before that, but he will be at BYU football in a couple years after that. So congrats to McKay on just an incredible career in high school. All right, NBA draft is here, or very soon here. And I would say there's a lot of moving parts, even up to today. in this NBA draft side of things. We just had the Porzingis trade yesterday that happened, so teams are moving around picks. Teams are figuring it out. The Durant trade changed some aspects to it as well. Let me see if I get the updated draft order in front of me. So right now, here's what the lottery looks like. It'll be the Mavericks, then the Spurs, then the Sixers, then the Hornets, then the Jazz, Wizards, Pelicans, Nets, Raptors, Rockets, who will give the pick to the Suns, Trailblazers, Bulls, Hawks, Spurs. It's so strange because the NBA isn't like the NFL. NFL will trade the pick and then immediately they're on the team. Whoever gets drafted at number 10 overall is going to wear a Rockets hat, but everyone will know in the room it's not it's not Houston, which I have many gripes about the NBA, but this is one of them, that weird calendar stuff that they have to deal with where it's like the offseason could start middle of the playoffs and people could trade things. And although, let's be fair, they're all in agreement. They're not actually official until whenever the new league year starts, which I believe is the start of July. Is that correct? When that's official? But it's one of the weirdest things because, like, I don't know. Do we have you watch draft stuff? Like, how many players do we get weird like hat situations where like they're
right?
You know what I'm talking about? Where
one
Kobe's
that I
in
remember was
Kobe's in a Hornets hat,
right? Like Trae Young and Luka. Like Trae Young was in a Dallas Mavericks hat, and Luka was in a Hawks hat, and it's the weirdest thing.
Yeah, like why doesn't the NBA just move the calendar up? Like why does it have to be? Maybe it's a tax thing. Is it a tax thing? I don't know. I don't know, financial thing, whatever, because money makes the world go around.
I think it's the weirdest draft out of all Big Four sports, in my opinion.
It is the strangest draft, and they made it even stranger because they thought, oh yeah, everyone's tuning in tomorrow for round 2. These guys matter. Which,
sadly, I don't think round 2 has mattered for the last 3 years.
Hey, Draymond will say what, hear what you say, and
for the last 3 years, I'm saying.
Okay, last 3 years, yeah. Second round, typically. Guys don't even make rosters from the second round sometimes, which amazes me because I think of the depth of the NBA. I'm like, how do second rounders don't make teams? And then you get these undrafted guys that kind of show up and make things happen as far as that's concerned. But they wanted to split it up over 2 days because they think people are going to watch and, people are going to listen too because we have both of them on the airwaves. So yeah, please listen to the NBA draft anyway. I'm doing a horrible job of promoting this.
Yeah, you're super selling me on it, Phil.
Hey,
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, I think so. I think so as well. We have our local guy here. Of course, the Central Valley has continued to supply a lot of talent and continues to add to it. We talked about Cedric Coward, his ability. He really popped up on the scene because of his three-point shooting. He's big. He's physical as a guard. Can be a big defensive side of things as well. He's a little older, so a little more physically mature. That's what you like about him sometimes, is sometimes when they are physically mature, they're ready to play right away and can be a role player in some form or fashion. So there's some fascinating permutations. At what pick, Tanvir, do you feel things will start getting interesting in tonight's draft? Do you think it's at 3 with the 76ers? That's when the draft really begins?
Honestly, I'm going to be interested because I'm a Spurs fan, so I'm going to be interested in number 2. But I think for just a casual fan, I think when you start going to number 3 and beyond is where you can kind of see a little bit of difference in mock drafts and what the actual draft is going to bring. I think when we're talking about the first 2 picks, Cooper Flagg and Dylan Harper, I think are for sure going 1-2 at this point. But as you said, like just to sell this draft to people, this has got a lot of talent in my opinion. So more talent than what was here last year for sure. And so I think that it is going to start with the Sixers and seeing a couple of there's a couple of questions that I have, like Ace Bailey. I don't know if he's going to get picked number 3, even though he's my 3rd best player. I think Paul George had a comment that he made on his podcast talking about, why are you doing all this? Mm-hmm. You know, you're not even in the league yet. I'm also interested to see if Oklahoma City is going to move up. I have heard some rumblings about that, and if they can add another guy to that roster, you could see a start of a dynasty. And then I think if we look back at the March Madness tournament, Walter Clayton Jr. was an absolute monster, and
My
I'm
boy.
interested to see where Walter Clayton Jr. goes. But in terms of Cedric Howard, I think that Memphis is still the team. I said Memphis yesterday. I still think Memphis is the team to look out for to draft him. But I have seen that he is getting looks from Phoenix, Chicago, San Antonio, and even the NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder.
Yeah. You root for the situations that are already set up pretty nicely, but you also kind of hope he gets the opportunity. If you're a Cedric Howard fan, you want to know where he's going to go, because there's the big, fulcrum of playing time's nice, but the environment is also nice. What is the marriage of the two? What do you feel like you're most likely walking into that can marriage both of those situations together? Like I said, Oklahoma City is a good situation, but will he get lost in a rotation that is so depth heavy? Is it hard for him to crack a rotation like that because OKC is such a well-oiled machine, and see what kind of cog he can fit into? Memphis is a team in transition with what is a new coach, the volatility a little bit of what Memphis' situation is. Sometimes you'll see that he could play a lot and be in a good rotation side of things, but is the Memphis situation a good one for him to shine in, because we don't know exactly what that situation looks like. So it's on both sides for me. I'm like, on one hand, like you want the situation, but on one hand you want the playing time, and I go back and forth on what that is. Portland's the interesting one to me, because I think both of those can equally be true, because I think I liked what Chauncey Billups did last year as a coach in the situation it's got. Same with the Spurs. In the Spurs, I trust with it, just in that situation, and the playing time and the rotation of all of that. That's how I always kind of balance it out with, and what I hope for Cedric Howard.
Yeah, I think that San Antonio is an interesting option. I think as I said yesterday, the forward position is what I feel is what we need to improve the most. And if we're not going to get Ace Bailey at 30, I think Cedric Howard at I think we're at 12 or 14.
You guys are at 14.
Yeah, 14. So I think picking him up and him bringing that elite efficiency to this team can work wonders for him under that coaching staff. Obviously, Greg Popovich not here anymore due to his physical condition, and that's sad to see, but he's still going to be in the building, so you're still going to have a lot of good brains working with you when you are practicing with that roster.
No Lakers pick tonight, but they pick tomorrow, Asa.
Oh, cool. The one that matters.
Yeah, 55 overall. I don't know how many 55 overall picks do well, but we'll see how it all plays out from there. Do we see an all-star traded tonight?
If we see an all-star traded tonight, there's an outside shot. I don't think this is going to happen, but there's like the outside of outside shots that Giannis gets traded to Dallas for Cooper Flag. That's what I was originally thinking Dallas was going to do with this number one pick, but it seems like Cooper Flag is for sure going to be the player that goes number one. There's been a lot of movement. I don't know if we see a superstar traded, but I do think there will be a significant piece traded today. I just don't know where that comes from.
Yeah, I've heard he's not an all-star superstar. I've heard Derek White's name being floated around from the Celtics as a possible trade option, and what he could shop for. And yeah, we'll see where it all kind of turns out from everything.
I've heard some Jaylen Brown rumblings as well.
Jaylen Brown would take a lot to move, but that'd be a fascinating one, and certainly could shake the landscape of everything when in terms of that. But we'll see. It's fascinating to watch. All right, NBA draft is coming up, guys. Appreciate the show as always. You always do a great job. Appreciate you, Asa. Best of luck on the house.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks for hanging. You. Thanks for just hanging out.
Thanks for having me.
Getting your reprieve away from life.
Yeah,
for a little bit. So
don't shoot off fireworks, kids. It's not cool.
Yeah, be careful. We will be back. Giants baseball tomorrow. We'll be coming on after that, and then we'll have the NBA draft as well. So we'll see you after Giants baseball tomorrow for another edition of Behind the Bench. See you then.
Whoever it was that said rainy days are followed by rainbows and pots of gold definitely wasn't it.